When Nowruz breathed his last, the world did not dim. It blazed. From the quiet shadow of his father stepped Jamshid, a young king so bright that dawn itself seemed pale beside him. His name meant twin of the sun, and when he smiled, the mountains lowered their heads in greeting. The people looked upon him and whispered one word over and over like a prayer. Finally, the perfect king has come. Jamshid ruled for 700 years. Some say 316, some say 1,000, but every storyteller agrees on this. No king before him and no king after him ever carried the whole world in the palm of his hand the way Jamshid did. He took the raw iron Shang had discovered and taught it to sing. He forged swords so sharp they could split a hair blown across the blade, and plows so gentle they caressed the earth instead of wounding it. He melted gems in golden crucibles and poured them into crowns that weighed nothing and everything. He wove silk so fine that 1,000 meters of it could pass through a wedding ring, and dyed it with colors the rainbow had never dared to dream. He walked among the perfumers and taught them secrets so that a single drop on an old man's wrist made him feel 20 again. He sat with the healers and gave them medicines that closed wounds overnight and drove death from the door. He pressed grapes beneath the moon and invented wine that turned the saddest heart into a nightingale. He gathered the people and spoke softly. From this day, no one shall be lost or hungry. He divided them into 4 gentle orders that lived in harmony. The priest, who kept the sacred fire and the sacred word, the warriors who stood between sleep and danger, the farmers whose hands fed every mouth, and the craftsmen whose fingers turned dust into beauty. No child cried of hunger. No elder shivered in the cold. No grave was dug before its time. Then he turned to the demons, the very same Nowruz had chained, and commanded them, "Build me a world worthy of mankind." They mixed clay with straw and tears, baked the first perfect bricks beneath a jealous sun, and raised palaces that floated between earth and sky. Gardens hung in the air, watered by silver fountains that sang. Baths of marble echoed with laughter. Cities were born in a single night. Istak with its 100 gates of ivory and gold. Persepolis before the world knew its name, and a capital so beautiful that angels paused in flight to look. Yet even this was not enough for Jamshid. He ordered the greatest demons to forge a throne of sapphire and molten gold, carried on the shoulders of 4 laughing divs whose wings cast rainbows. When Jamshid wished it, the throne rose higher than any eagle had ever flown. He flew above the world like a second sun, and wherever his shadow fell, flowers opened out of season. On the first day of spring, he descended slowly, scattering jewels and rose petals like rain. The people ran beneath him, faces wet with tears of joy. They caught the falling gold in their aprons and cried, "This day shall be forever new." And so Nowruz was born, the new day that still returns every year, carrying Jamshid's lost laughter on the wind. For 300 years, no one fell ill. For 300 years, no one grew old. For 300 years, no one died. Paradise walked the earth in human form, and its name was Jamshid. But paradise is a dangerous mirror. It shows a man his own face too clearly. One morning, Jamshid stood upon his flying throne above the tallest palace ever built. He looked down and saw rivers running with milk and honey, mountains wearing crowns of eternal snow, cities shining like scattered constellations. And something cold and sweet rose inside his chest. Pride, older than the stars, sweeter than any wine he had invented. He gathered his court beneath a canopy of silk and pearls. The priests held their sacred fires low. The warriors laid down their swords. The farmers and craftsmen lifted their eyes. And Jamshid spoke the sentence that broke the world. "I am the source of all light. I am the giver of all life. Food grows because I command it. The sun rises because I allow it. There is no king but me." and no god above me. In that instant, the royal light, the divine flame that had rested on every worthy king since Kayumers, rose from his crown like a golden butterfly, circled once, twice, 3 times, as though giving him one last chance to take the words back. Jamshid did not see it. He was still speaking, drunk on the sound of his own voice. The butterfly flew away. The demons carrying the throne felt the change and began to laugh, a sound like breaking glass across the sky. The sacred fires in the temples flickered and turned blue. The people looked up and, for the first time in centuries, felt the cold breath of fear on their necks. Jamshid did not notice. He kept speaking, but the world had already begun to forget his name. Far away, in the burning deserts, a young prince named Zahhak dreamed of a crown that did not yet exist. One night Ahriman, the eternal lie, came to him disguised as a handsome cook. He prepared a feast of forbidden meat and whispered flattery like poison. When Zahhak slept, Ahriman leaned close and kissed him once on the right shoulder, once on the left. Where his lips touched, 2 black baby snakes sprouted, tiny at first. Mewling, hungry, their eyes already old with cruelty. Every morning the snakes grew longer. Every morning they demanded food no animal could give. They wanted the brains of young men, warm, still thinking, still dreaming. Every day 2 youths were dragged, screaming, to the kitchen. Every day their skulls were opened like pomegranates. Zahhak watched and smiled, and the snakes licked the blood from his shoulders. Iran lay crownless, lightless, terrified. The royal glory had abandoned its ancient home. Jamshid wandered the earth he had once ruled. His flying throne lay shattered in a desert of broken gold. His palaces crumbled into dust that the wind carried away. People shut their doors when they saw him coming. He walked until his feet bled, until his hair turned white as the snows of forgotten winters, till he reached the very edge of the China Sea. There, on a shore where the waves sang morning songs, Zahhak found him. The Snake-King stood tall, shoulders writhing with black serpents, eyes red as the brains he fed them every dawn. He laughed once, a sound like iron dragged across a bone, and raised a saw made from the first iron Jamshid himself had forged. With his own hands, he cut the ancient king in half, from crown to heel, slowly, so the scream would last longer. The sea turned crimson. The sky opened and wept blood that fell for 40 days and 40 nights. 700 years of paradise ended with one proud sentence and one terrible blow. Yet, even as Jamshid's blood soaked the sand, a spark no darkness could swallow remained hidden. In a secret meadow, far from Zahhak's hungry gaze, a legendary white cow named Permea lowered her head and gave her milk to a tiny baby whose eyes already carried the light that had abandoned Jamshid. That baby's name was Faradin, and the world would tremble when he grew. If tonight the rise and fall of the greatest king left an ache behind your ribs, the flight of a single golden butterfly made you hold your breath for 700 forgotten years, stay with me. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. The darkness has come, but dawn always follows. See you beneath the next star, my friends. The Shahnameh never sleeps.